Hello Damo for show followers. I have what I think is a brilliant story and I really wanted to share it, and I've got two great videos and I wanted to explain them because when you understand it, how I experienced it and saw it and how it all happened, it means so much more and it's so much more important, and hopefully you'll learn so much more from it. So I'm a big believer in fate and also putting things out there into the universe and sort of believing it and wishing for it and hoping it's going to happen, but believe it's going to happen and then things happen. Now this stemmed from a lifetime really of personal development, and my sister told me about a book called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, and I'm sure loads of you have read the book and seen the book and know about the book, but the shortest summary I can give you of the book, if you haven't read it, is that it's based on, I'm just going to read the blurb here, it's based on a notion that if you think about certain things, you will make them appear in one's life. So you think about it, believe it, create it in your mind first, and then it happens in real life. And you'll see people like Conor McGregor talking about that. If you believe it and you have the courage to speak it, then it will happen. And I read The Secret in 2009. My sister gave me the book, I think, and I wrote a checkout actually. This is yet to happen, but this is on the list. I wrote a checkout that you get with the book. This was 2009 in February for £3.5 million. So that's come in. But anyway, I digress. I'm still thinking about that. That's still going to happen. But on a smaller scale, I want to explain these brilliant 2 days that I had with Expert Empires in London at Wembley at the Hilton Hotel, and all the things that led up to the ultimate bit, which was doing some sit-ups with David Goggins and being able to converse with him in front of hundreds of people with a microphone. So I'm going to tell you the story and I love it, so stay tuned. So I'm going to tell you how I, Damo for show, normal kind of guy, met the toughest man on the planet, the toughest man alive, how I met in person, in real life, David Goggins. And not only did I meet him, I did some sit-ups with him, I met his fiancée, I chatted with him in front of hundreds of people with a mic, and had a phenomenal experience, and I'm going to tell you all about it, so stay tuned.
Oh! Thank you for the abs workout the other day.
Thank you.
It was brilliant.
Thank you. So first of all, I'd heard about David Goggins last year. There was a guy, a PT in the gym that I was running, Jack Pardo at Extreme Gym, and he told me about David Goggins, and I went and got his audiobook, which I've since purchased and had signed by the main man. So I'd heard about David Goggins, and I listened to his audiobook earlier this year, and then there's another book that's about him but not by him, and I listened to that as well and was very motivated. I love stories of endurance. One of the most interesting stories I ever read was that of Sir Ernest Shackleton with his trans-Antarctic exploration. That was the biggest failure yet greatest survival story ever. And so I'm very much into endurance sort of stuff, and I've done a long bike ride and I've done a long run, and I'm not a particular athlete. I'm not a world-class athlete. I'm not particularly fit, but I've got a good mindset that just keeps me going, and I love to hear stories about people that do the same thing, but obviously on a much bigger scale. So very inspired by David, and when I heard that he was coming to England, because he's an American guy, ex-Navy SEAL, amongst lots of other accolades, when I heard that he was coming to England, I was like, wow, I'd love to go and see him. And I saw the tickets come up and they were just too expensive, out of my budget, out of my realm of being able to afford that. And I was like, well, can't go. And I thought that was that, put it to bed. And then literally a few weeks before the event, I happened to be in a Facebook group called Coffee with Dan, which is a group ran by Dan Meredith for entrepreneurs. There's 15,000 people in it. And he actually got a gig to speak at the same event as David, to headline at the same event on the Thursday. David was doing the Friday. And so Dan had a special discounted ticket for members of his group, and I snapped it up. And really, that was still expensive, and that was out of my budget. But I snapped it up and thought, I'm going. You have to surround yourself with positive people. You have to put yourself in an environment where you're going to grow. And sometimes you have to stretch yourself a little bit to get to where you want to go. So I saw this opportunity. I thought, I'm going to have that. Now, they said that they were doing a raffle at 9 o'clock on the first day. And that raffle would allow you to win 60 minutes with David Goggins, a very small mastermind circle. So you'll be with a group of small people, a small group, not small people, and you could win that. And I set it out there that I was going to win that raffle, right? Because I couldn't afford the VIP, I couldn't afford the elite, I couldn't afford the AAA, I couldn't afford the after party that you get access to if you spend all the money. I was in the cheap seats at the back, but I was winning that damn raffle, okay? So when I saw the event first off, I thought it started, it opened at 9 and started at about 10, I thought, give people an hour to get in. So I'd booked my train. My train was all booked, and I wouldn't have got to the venue until like really close to 9. It was going to be tight, and if the train was late, I would have missed the raffle. So 2 days before the event, I cancelled my train ticket and I booked an earlier one, which meant I had loads more changes. I had to get up at daft o'clock in the morning, and it meant that I was going to be there for 8 o'clock, so I would be there in ample time, ready to do the raffle. Now, I was winning that raffle. I put it out there, but I've read the Rhonda Byrne, I've read The Secret, I'm winning that raffle. So I'm in here, I'm winning that raffle. I've won that raffle, that's mine. I'm having 60 minutes with Goggins. So I changed my train timetable, diddly-do, got down there, got there early, and I'd promised myself that if I bumped into anybody famous, I was going to catch a selfie with them. I was going to be brave, get out of my comfort zone, and just say, hi, can I have a photo, please? Bit geeky, bit fan-zoney, but I promised myself I was going to do it because I've been to some other things, met some famous people, and bottled it, and not dared to get a photo, and then regretted it massively. So in my mind, I'm winning the raffle. If I bump into anybody famous, I'm getting a photo. And so I get there, and I'm early, I've gone on my own, and I don't know anybody, and I get there early, super early, and I'm walking up, and I'm just looking for the toilets, if I'm honest with you. I haven't signed in, I haven't checked in, I haven't done anything, I'm just looking for the toilets. And as I'm walking up the stairs, Dave, my mate Dave, comes out the lift, and he's in his gym kit, and he's going to the gym, which is there, and I'm walking there, at the exact time where we do this. And I'm like, I'd promised myself I was always going to get a photo, right? But in my mind, I went all fan-zoney. I'm like, ah! I didn't say that out loud, but that's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh my God, there's David Goggins. Like, and I bumped into him, like, ah! And he was going to the gym. And he's an ex-Navy SEAL. He's a focused kind of guy. If that man's going to the gym, he probably don't want to get fan-zoned that time in the morning. But there was no one around him. That was my opportunity. And I said, hi, David. A little bit like that. Hi, Dave. I'm going to your thing later. Really looking forward to it. And I'm thinking, asking for a photo. And he says something really cool and American, like, yeah, bro, man, see you there. Or something really military and efficient to the point. I can't remember. I was in a state of adrenal dump. And I let him go. I let him go, man. I let him go to the gym. And I went to the lavatory. And I was like, damn, I didn't get a photo. That was my time to get a photo. And I missed it. And that is a very significant point, which leads on to how these things get more brilliant later on. If that moment didn't happen, the rest of it wouldn't have happened. So stay listening. The story gets better. So it turns out that David isn't speaking on day one, on the Thursday. He's actually speaking on the Friday. But I was annoyed that I'd missed my opportunity there. And then I walk through, go to the lavatory, then I go and sign in and all that stuff. And I go and chat to this guy who's on his own, and he's never been to anything like this before. Fads, his name was. Had a brilliant chat with this young lad, Fads, who'd never been to anything like this, and he was proper excited after I told him about the gravitas of it all and how I mentioned I'd met David. It was brilliant. And then he was in the VIP, so I had to go down to the general ticket bit, to the cheap seats, and I go and bump into Jamie Alderton. And I'm like, there's famous people everywhere. So Jamie is huge on Instagram. He's huge with his Facebook. He does Grenade J. He used to do a lot of stuff for the grenade bars, and he does all his own stuff now. Follow him on Instagram. He's brilliant and he's a lovely guy. And he's actually in the general seating because he's good friends with Dan. Now, I actually had bumped into Jamie a couple of months ago at one of Dan's events. So I was able to go and say, oh, hi, Jay, and I talked about the run that I did. For those of you that have followed me for a while, I did a charity run to Antwerp for for the hospital that to save my niece and nephew a few years ago. And long story short, I'd asked Jamie for some training tips when I bumped into him. And so I gave him the update and said I'd done it and raised some money for charity, which was brilliant. But then I ended up spending the whole day sat next to Jamie Alderton. And I was like, I got my photo straight off the bat. I'm like, can I get a photo, please? Because I didn't know what was going to happen. Like, can I get a photo? Boop. Got it. Because I'd missed the David Goggins photo, I was damn sure getting the Jamie Alderton photo. So I got a photo, but then we actually sat next to each other, and it was brilliant. And he's a lovely guy, and we enjoyed the show, Expert Empires, that Nick James put on, and it was really, really good. Lots of top speakers. Dan Meredith did his bit, which was brilliant. He had the crowds laughing, being unapologetically himself. So we had this experience, and then all day, I'm thinking, damn, I should have got a photo with David Goggins, because then no one saw him for the rest of the day because, well, I don't know whether the VIP people did, but he wasn't around because his bit was the day after. And so in the evening, the gig finished, and I stayed right till the very end. It didn't finish till like maybe nearly 8 o'clock. I listened to the last guy, and I was tired because I'd been up since 4 and done this whole thing till 8, and I was tired. And everybody who was VIP went up to the Sky Bar, to a special bar where they were having free drinks and mingling. And I was a bit resentful that I couldn't get in there. You know, I didn't have the ticket to get in there. So I went to the gym. And whilst I was in the gym, I thought, I wonder how I can get hold of David. I wonder, this is 2019. Like, you can message people without even really knowing them, right? I thought, I'm going to Instagram him. I'm going to Instagram him and say, hey David, I proper got a fan zone this morning when I met you. Can I get a photo with you later? Or I'm thinking, are you going to the gym tomorrow? Because we're staying in the same hotel. And I'm thinking he's like in the penthouse suite, like nowhere near my level 5 room. And I was thinking, like, how can I get his attention to Instagram and see if he's going to the gym? If he's going to be at the gym in the morning, I'll go to the gym in the morning. If I bump into him, I'll get the photo. But then I'm thinking, if he's running on the treadmill and he's in the zone and he's doing, you know, like hardcore stuff, he's not going to want some bearded bloke to come up to him and go, hi, can I have a photo, please, David? So I'm thinking, how can I get his attention? And I thought, well, like, everybody's going to be Instagram messaging him. He probably don't even look at his Instagram. He probably doesn't read the messages. That's a stupid idea, Damo. Don't do it. And then I thought, how can I get his attention? I know I will do an Instagram story, tag a few people in that are at the show, at the day. Maybe someone's with him or tells him about it. And I thought, if I do an Instagram story, how can I get, I know, I'll challenge him. I'll challenge him to a sit-up competition. And I thought about trying to go with the beard angle and thinking, like, telling him, right now, I'm Team Great Britain, because technically I am Team Great Britain for bearding. But if I don't mention the bearding bit, if I just say I'm Team GP, do you want a sit-up competition? He might want to do that. He might want a bit of USA versus England. And I thought, if I put on a posh English voice, he might think I know the Queen. Because a lot of American people think, if you live in England, because it's so small, you probably know the Queen. So I'm thinking all these things, right? How can I get a sit-up competition with Goggins? That's what I'm thinking. I'm putting that out there in the universe. And I'm thinking, Friday morning, in the gym. But to get his attention, Instagram story, tag him in it. Hi, David. Probably in that voice. So fan zoned it when I saw you. I should have got a photo, didn't. I go in gym tomorrow. If you want, we'll do a sit-up competition. I'm Team GB. I'm thinking all this stuff. And so I finished my session in the gym Thursday night, and then I was going to go back to my room, and I was going to have some room service. Now, earlier on in the day, this is very significant. Earlier on in the day, I'd used a phone to phone the gym to ask them about towels. That's what you do when you stay in a hotel. And I could hear them, they couldn't hear me. So my phone was broke. Very significant. The phone in my room was broke. So I finished in the gym Thursday night. I went to the bar to order room service because I couldn't do it from my phone. Very significant. So I go to the bar, I order room service. I can order some food, please, mate, and send it up to my room. Phone's not working. While I'm waiting, I'll have a beer. So I'm having a pint of Stella in my gym stuff because I've just done a gym sesh and a little swim. And then Jamie and Dan and Aaron, a young lad, PT that I'd met there, was all sat in the bar. And I'm like, so I sat with them having a beer, and I could have stayed there all night easily. I would have loved to have had 4 or 5 beers, sat there amongst those phenomenal people, learning all their phenomenalness and being a little bit fan zone still with them, and that would have been phenomenal. However, this is when significant things happen. When you put in the air, you want a competition with Goggins. When that's up there, the world conspires to make it happen. So this is what happens. I'm in the bar, I'm having my beer, I've nearly finished it, and I'm thinking, yes, when I get back to my room, I'm gonna do the Instagram story. I'm gonna do the Instagram story when I get back to my room about going to the gym in the morning. This is how it's gonna work, this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get a little bit of special time with David Goggins. That was my plan. So, I'm sat there, I've nearly finished my beer, and the guy from the bar comes over and says, oh, your room service is on the way, you've got to go up now. And I'm like, right, boom, beer down, boom, and I go up. Now, as I'm going up to my room, as I'm thinking about what I'm going to say in the video, as I'm thinking about what I'm going to say when I'm doing sit-ups with David, what I'm going to say to get him to do sit-ups with me, what I'm going to say to make sure I get that goddamn photo. When I'm thinking all these things in my brain as I'm going up the lift, and then I'm getting onto the 5th floor, and then I'm walking down the corridor to my room, thinking as soon as I get in the room, I'm going to do the video. I'm going to go out of my comfort zone and do it, because it's really cheesy and geeky, isn't it? Doing a video, trying to get someone that you don't even know from across the world, who's an ex-Navy SEAL, who's a phenomenal, toughest man on the planet, to do some sit-ups with you. It's a stupid idea, but it's an idea nonetheless. And once you put it up there, I'm telling you now, the world conspires. And so, I hope you're still with me. It's a good story. And so as I'm walking to get into my room, I put the card in, key card, I open the door, and I look over my shoulder, a bit like that, make sure no one's following me in, and I see the silhouette of this lovely, shiny, bald head with a beautiful blonde-haired lady. And I'm like, that's David Goggins. And I'm like, that dude, like, I was thinking he'd be in the penthouse suite, like in a huge, like, he was on my floor. He was on my floor, down the corridor, and he'd just come out of a room or round a corner or something, and I saw him, and he's a good 100 yards away. I'm going into my room, and I'm in the room, and I'm thinking, ah! This is my chance. This is my chance for the photo. Because you have all this confidence when you're in the gym and you're thinking about, oh, I'm going to do the video, get him to do it. And then when you see him in real life, you're like, oh. But I'm thinking, I'm definitely doing a photo. I'm getting a photo with David. And the reason I was so adamant that I was going to go back out there, say hello and get a photo, was because I had learned from missing my opportunity earlier in the day. Now, that was really significant. Missed that opportunity earlier in the day, which meant I definitely was going to do it. So I'd walked in the room, put my gym stuff down, and I was scratching around for my phone. My phone I'd slung in the bottom of a wet bag, because it's waterproof phone, with my wet Speedos, because I've been swimming, and a sweaty towel. And I'm scratching around. I'm like, please don't let him walk past and go. And I'm trying to find, and I'm digging out my phone, and I'm like trying to get the phone camera thing and all this. And then I sort of walked out the room backwards, as if it didn't look like I was just running out to be a fan. And anyway, I had a good 5-10 yards to make eye contact. Now bear in mind, ex-Navy SEAL and Forest Ranger and loads of other cool army stuff, right? He probably knew what was going on. He probably clocked me from 15 miles away. And as he's walking along, and it turns out I think it's his fiance that he's with, but nobody else. Because earlier on in the day, or maybe it was the day after, whenever he was about, there was 1 million people by him because everybody wants to see him. So this happened, it was just him and just his fiance, and it was 9:30 at night, and he's walking on the corridor 10 yards, and I went, hi David, I totally fan-zoned it this morning, I met you and I bottled it, I didn't dare get a photo, can I have a photo please? And he was very susceptible and very willing, and I got the photo, but I looked a mess. My beard was in a mess, I'd just been in the gym, I'd been swimming, I'd had a beer, I looked rubbish. The photo, it's not all that, he looks very well in it, he was just going out for dinner. And so I got the photo, and that could have been it. I could have bottled it, gone back in the room, job done, got the photo, ching, done. However, remember the universe? Remember the universe where I put all that stuff about a sit-up competition? That was still floating around there, and it wanted to make things happen. You all know what happens. You all know what happens. So I said, thank you very much, David. Are you going to the gym tomorrow morning? And I'll be honest with you, I can't remember what he said because I was a bit fan-zonedy. And long story short, I challenged him. I said, I challenge him. sit-ups. And he said something like, fuck, let's do it now, man. I was like, what? Like, seriously, I was like half expecting him to say, yeah, I'll see you in the gym tomorrow, and then him not go. Because the gym wasn't that good, to be honest with you. If I was him, I would have probably gone somewhere else. Or out for a run and explored all of beautiful London. But the gym was very small. So it happened. He said, let's do it right now. He takes off his jacket, and I'm like, ah. Also, for the record, I'd already done 350 sit-ups in the gym that night. And I'd had a pint of Stella in the bar with Jamie and Dan and Aaron. But anyway, you don't pass up an opportunity like this to sit on the floor with David Goggins, do you? You know. So the universe did its thing, and boom, outside my hotel room on the 5th floor, just me, him, and his fiance, and a random bloke that came along later on. You'll hear him on the video. He was very nice. He waited. He didn't make a deal of trying to squeeze past. We had a sit-up competition, and it was phenomenal. That guy, I think, could probably just keep going forever. Like, I don't think he would even stop ever. Which is the nature of an endurance athlete. I gave up after about 115 sit-ups. But in all honesty, it was a victory for me because I got to share that very special moment with David. And his fiancée filmed it for me, which was amazing. And that was the beginning, really, of my wonderful 2-day experience at Expert Empires, and the David Goggins experience.
Thank you for showing David Goggins. We're just having a bit of a sit-up competition. I might let him win. Ready? Go.
No,
Have we seen how many we can do? How long for?
Let's make sure.
Oh, hang on. I've got to get it right.
That's right.
Yeah. How? Okay. Who's counting?
Nobody's counting.
We'll just go at the same pace and we'll just keep going?
Yep.
Okay. Do you mind if I sporadically say you can't hurt Broke Crew too?
That's it.
And that motivates me a lot. So, last month, I did a charity run and I did 300 miles from Rugby to Antwerp, and it was for a beard competition.
Nice.
And I got into a lot of trouble. I had terrible blisters and it was awfully painful. But luckily, I'd listened to your audiobook before I left and it kept me going. So thank you.
Yep.
I think I'm 2 ahead. Did you get that?
I'm not sure.
I think now you're right. That's a couple of in there. Oh, feeling it.
Oh, come on, man. You haven't even begun.
I just had a pint of Stella in the bar, baby. Oh. How you feeling? You doing all right?
Oh, good.
You can quit if you want.
Oh, no
I
problem.
know you're not a massive fan of pain.
Oh,
If
no.
you start feeling it in the abs, just let it go. Whew. Is he slowing down? Or am I gonna get quicker?
Oh, he's not even warmed up yet.
Oh, come on. It's because he's put these new rules in. I wasn't anticipating that. Am I looking my best?
Now
I
that
would-
you feel it, look at this. Now that you feel it, I'll do this for you.
You start when you want, Dave. Should we call that a draw?
Uh-oh.
My fault
I-
slipping, but I'm keeping going. He's done this before,
Uh-oh.
right?
Don't ask me to do something and you start doing that.
I don't mind coming second, David.
Come on.
This.
Oh, hello.
Come on.
This was a spur of the
I'm
moment
coming.
Come on.
Come on.
thing that happened.
I know.
Do you need to get by?
No, my room is just there. But my wife was gonna be so jealous because it's the second time I see David Goggins,
And she hasn't seen it.
and she hadn't seen him. She was so jealous when
I'm going.
I showed
Come on,
the pictures.
Come on.
Is she in the room?
No, she's downstairs and I forgot my telephone.
It's not the sound of the beach stand, is it?
Come on. Come on.
Come on.
Come on. Come on. Call me out.
I have that thing with exercise.
It was the
I
best way to
like
spend some
challenging
time with you.
myself. But how can I translate that into life?
Yeah.
Because I am like that, and when I work out, I push.
I think somebody wants you up there.
I push.
I think they need you to
That's
go.
good.
How can I translate that
Into
in
your
a life?
Yeah.
I thought pull-ups was your thing.
That's his thing.
I thought if I challenge
see,
you
for
myself,
that
I'd have a
result.
chance.
When I knew,
You have it in you, so.
I know.
Right,
I'm
Dave, you
very
win.
passionate and I'm
All right.
so energetic, you know, and
Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that.
I mean,
I
that,
did,
to me,
certainly.
that is my man. That is my man. That is the
Thank you very
man.
much. Thank you, good
It gets
sir.
even better than that. And I'm just gonna keep rolling because I'm on a roll. It gets even better than that. So we did the setup, said thank you and all that, and then he went to go and have his dinner, and then I went in my room to just like watch the video back a million times, and it was amazing. So the next day, David comes on. He's headlining, and then he's the last one in the day, maybe around 4 o'clock or something, and he comes on. The crowd go wild. There's hundreds of people there. Everybody's really pumped. We've been waiting for 2 days to see David. A lot of people spent a lot of money to be there, and it's amazing. And he comes out and he does his speech and talks a lot about his mindset and his experiences and how he overcomes stuff. And really helpful, really motivating, really passionate, really efficient and to the point. Great speaker. And very interesting that he explains he is actually a bit of an introvert and he didn't like being on the stage, but he absolutely bossed it. He's a clear speaker and he was brilliant. Now, they went and did a bit of Q&A, and I've been in a Q&A before many years ago. It was a self-development thing actually with Jeff Thompson in Coventry, and I've been to see one of the short films that he'd done, and I was a big fan of Jeff. And I was really get a real adrenaline dump when you want to ask a question. The fact that you're going to stand up, have a microphone, everybody's going to look at you. You're asking a question to your idol or someone you're very, very interested in, and it's a famous person and all this. And I'd experienced this a couple of years ago, and I knew exactly what it was like. And so I knew it was going to be the same now, even though I'm a grown-up, and even though I've learned over the years to manage my adrenaline. But my adrenaline was pumping. My heart is pumping in my chest. And when you get it really bad going, when your adrenaline is really pumping, your brain stops working as well, because your voice, and you start talking in monosyllabic terminology, your hands go all sweaty. And so I'm having all this going on, right? But also, I'd had to have my hand up for about an hour. It weren't that long, but it was quite long, to try and get the attention of Nick. And also, I was behind two quite big stroke tall people there. I didn't even think that Nick, who was on the stage with David, would have even seen me to be able to point to say, ask that guy. So I'm there with my hand up for ages, and I've got big hands, right? And I'm making them as wide as I can. I'm like, pick me, god damn it. And I haven't even thought of my question. I've just got my hand up. And I'm doing it, I think, no, they're not even gonna notice. And then I thought of a question while I was waiting. And then all of a sudden, I look down and there's a young lady with blonde hair that's crawled along and got a microphone and is poking this microphone at me. And I'm like, ah! And then the adrenaline's really pumping. And I was sat next to a guy that I'd met, Greg Watkins, and his face lit up. He's like, oh, because I'd made good friends with Greg over the day. And he's like, David's going to ask a question. I'm like, Greg, can you film it, Greg? So I give him the phone. And he said, yes, so thanks for that, Greg. And so I've got the microphone, and now I'm waiting for the other person to finish and David to answer the question of the other person. And I'm like, ah. And then you get to see the video because I'm going to post it. But then I stand up and I'm all prepared for my question. And David says, oh!
Oh!
Thank you for the abs workout the other day.
Thank you.
It was brilliant.
Thank you. I want to share a quick story with you all. This lovely gentleman here sees me come out of my room yesterday going to dinner, about 9:30 at night. Don't know who the hell he is from Adam. He says, Goggins.
I'm sure it's not David. I can see
What the
David.
fuck is this with this big beard? Hey, Goggins, let's do some sit-ups. We're in the hallway on the 5th floor. I challenge you. That's where this is going, people. Thank you. Go ahead.
Do I have to tell the rest of the story?
He won.
It was just amazing that he remembered me, probably because of the beard, and we had a delightful exchange, I think, for human beings in a room chatting to each other, but with all these hundreds of people watching, the room laughed and clapped like twice, maybe 3 times.
He won. And if you believe that, you're out of your damn mind. Alright? If you believe that shit, you're out of your damn mind. I live what I preach. So next time you challenge me, young man, come correct. But I do see that.
Thought pull-ups for your thing, so I thought sit-ups I'd have half a chance. I do have a question though, and that was an amazing experience, so thank you very much. And
Thank you.
I listened to your audiobooks, and in one of them you do sound a little bit scary, so I was a little bit apprehensive. But yeah, as you can see, he is a wonderful guy. But my question is, I really like your morning routine, and I want to know, for people that would like to emulate something like that, how long does it take to embed that habit or to create that new habit, and how do you stick with it, and how long is it going to take now? Because I could do it for a couple of days and then fall off the wagon. So what's the secret to creating a new habit and sticking with it?
Great question.
Thank you.
I have this thing called the 40% rule. And basically, I was able to run 100 miles with no training. Don't do that. Stupid idea. Read it in the book. It ended tragically. How you do that is this. So let's say in 2 days, you had trouble, you get tired, you get bored, whatever happens. The 40% rule is this. We have a governor on our mind. Like a car has a governor, okay? A lot of cars have governors. It says 130, but guess what? The manufacturer put a damn governor on the car, so when it gets to 92, it's doing this. Can't go any faster. Our brains are set up the same way. But we put these governors on ourselves. So where am I going with this? 40% rule. You can't go from like, I want to run 2 damn hours every day like David Goggins. I want to do thousands of sit-ups, thousands of push-ups, thousands of pull-ups. You can't do that. I didn't do that. I did one thing like that. So what you have to do is say, okay, you got to take increments of 5 to 10% a week or a month. So for me to run 100 miles a week, when I first started doing this, I got to 20 miles a day and my shins hurt. Okay, bump up 5%. That's all I can do. Okay, bump up 5% from 20. After a year of doing this, small bump ups, because our mind can handle these small bump ups. Before you know it, what happens is that 40% that we're really all at in the governance in, we're going to 50%, 60% by taking these small increments. So don't just get up every day and do this. Say, okay, 3 days this week I'm doing it. I'm going to run 3 miles, whatever it may be. Set your goals. Next week, go 5% more than that in everything of life, not just working out, business, everything in life. Before you know it, you have this 6-hour workout routine that people are like, oh my God, you're fucking amazing. No, I'm not. All I did was 3 years ago, I started with 20 miles. Now I'm at 120 miles. I'm able to do this many push-ups, this many sit-ups, and guess what? It's just by bumping up 5 to 10%. Weekly, monthly, whatever it may take, before you know it, it becomes your new norm. That's how I did it.
Thank you. Very insightful, the information that he gave. Now, that was just phenomenal. For me to be able to ask a question and get picked out of all the hundreds of people that were there that wanted to ask questions, to get picked to ask a question, phenomenal. To meet him in real life, phenomenal. To bump into him on the first day that early in the morning, phenomenal. But for all of those things to happen as they did, 1,000,000%, I truly, honestly believe that it's because I've imagined it in here and put it out there, and it's proper Rhonda Byrne The Secret worked its way and conspired to make it happen. Because had I not decided I was winning that raffle, I wouldn't have made sure I was there for 9 o'clock. If I hadn't have decided I wanted to be there for 9, I wouldn't have got the earlier train. If I hadn't got the earlier train, I wouldn't have bumped into him that first day outside of the lift. And if I hadn't have bottled the selfie photo there, I might not have done what has happened later on. And so everything all serendipitously worked together for me to have what will be one of the most memorable days of my life, because of all those things happening. It was probably quite memorable for David too. He's probably done some other good stuff, but this will be up there, top 5 maybe, top 5. And it was amazing. It was amazing, but it's all because you've got to think it in here, you've got to believe it. If you believe it, and I've been using this little strapline, this little hashtag for a while now, believe you can until you did. Because I genuinely think that if you want something to happen, you have to believe that it can happen. You know, that's where it all starts. Like, you have to take action, and you have to know how to do things, you have to know when to do things, and all that. But it all starts with a belief, and imagine it, believe you can do it, and then things will fall into place. And then you take your role along that journey of the bits you got to do. Like, the universe does its bit and it throws stuff at you and it conspires, but you still got to do your bit. I still had to step out my comfort zone on numerous occasions. I still had to make those bits happen. The universe threw in this bit, and this bit, but I still had to do this bit, and this bit. So believe you can until you did. That's my message, that's my video. I hope lots of people get to see this, and I hope people get something out of it. And I hope David sees it and goes, I'm glad I did that, because I have made that guy's life. That beardy guy, he's all right. And also, I'm practicing. Like, I'm doing 1 million sit-ups a day now, practicing, because the next time I see him, I am going to come correct. That's what he told me to do in the video. I think he was a bit disappointed that my sit-ups were lame. But in hindsight, it helped him out massively, because I know he wanted to get some dinner and it was quite late in the day. If I'd have gone on for a couple of hours, he wouldn't have eaten and he would have been unhappy. So, thank you very much. I hope you've all got something from that. Believe you can until you did, and genuinely put stuff out there. Imagine some things are going to happen, and it will happen. But also remember, it's probably not going to happen overnight. 2009, I did this check for £3.5 million. And it's not come true yet, but it will. It's happening. I'm working on it. Nick James, I'm going to get in that mastermind later this year, and I'm going to make £3.5 million. But I'm starting with 50k. Anyway, thank you very much, Expert Empires. Thank you very much, David Goggins. Thank you all you lot for watching, because this has been a long video. But worth it, because it's me doing stuff with a famous dude. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Enjoy yourselves, and believe you can until you did.